how is the present administration performing? And perhaps if there is a matter or an issue that stands out, what would that be? I'll start with you first, Richard.
Well, I can tell you my main issue is the issue with Roads and Parks, Beaches and Parks Authority. On Wednesday, the minister responsible for Roads and Parks, Honourable Minister Alfred Sayers, stand up in the Parliament and said that over 80% of contract holders were sorted out.
Were paid. I remember hearing that in Parliament.
And I want to say to the minister, he needs to get his facts, because to my understanding, that is inconsistent with the contract holders. And so I was surprised when he said that, and he was not challenged, because as we speak today, there are numbers of contract holders who are crying out every day, not being resolved.
Now remember, they were looking at some of those contracts to see the validity of them.
Yes, they were looking at it. They had a verification process in December of last year, and they had January of this year. They would have only paid persons who would have been verified, some persons who would have verified in December. To this day, there's still a lot of people who verified in December who have not been paid. There are persons who want to come in and bring their relevant documents, and they don't even have a help desk to assist those persons so they can go further with the process.
But Richard, yet again, and you said he was unchallenged. Well, you can't blame him for that. The minister says what he's given and presented with. You have members of Parliament in Parliament who sat silently when he spoke. They perhaps should have stood up and say, Minister, I beg to differ. Here are some issues. Here are some outstanding matters that must also be looked into and addressed.
Yes, I totally agree. He should have never went unchallenged. And he needs to bring to the House of Assembly the opposition. We need to ask for the minister to bring the evidence where 80% of the contract holder was paid. I'm saying today on the show that is totally inconsistent. And the minister needs to correct his statement, because that's totally not true. It is not true. It is not true. And a minister who misleads the Parliament of the Bahamas, that comes into question. And so either he's being ill-advised, either he does not care to be advised, or he just running on with figures. But I can tell you today, Shanique, and to the listeners, 80% of the contract holders of Beaches and Parks has not been paid. And the minister owes an explanation to the Parliament, and he owes an explanation to the Bahamian people.